Hi. Hello. Hello. Is this thing on? Hello. I still sound like hell. Hey. Hi, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to Basically a Podcast. My name is Alicia. Um, I want to give everybody a moment to hop in, but it seems like you guys have been hanging out here talking without me. Rude. Hi. Happy Pride Month. It occurred to me, I just loosened my skirt. It occurred to me mid-afternoon that it's the first of the month. So happy Pride Month, everyone. What else? Another thing that happened today, I hit, I know they're like little milestones, but I hit 44K like a couple of hours ago. If you don't know, I have like little pipe dream of hitting 50K on the 1 year anniversary of my hate mob. That gives us 17 more days. I don't know if I can pull off another 6K in 17 days, but it's been done before. Hi guys. I feel like this outfit is a little more prim and proper, but this skirt came in the mail and I was just so excited to wear it. Let's see. Yay, everybody showing love for Pride Month. Yay. Speaking of which, I was laughing because I am bummed because usually when you guys get to catch up on all the fun stuff, I am busy with editing or getting ready for this. I think when does Frenemies come out? Like at a certain hour that I don't get to finish watching it because I'm getting ready for this stuff. Am I feeling better? Nah, I sound a little better, but I'm feeling better. Yes, thank you for asking, Leslie. But what about me and my frenemies, Rachel? But yeah, I was catching what I could before I came here, and I was just laughing because I paused on the part where I guess Ethan was quizzing Trisha on superheroes, and they were going through. And at one point, Ethan got to Thor, and he was like, "Do you know what Thor's superpower is?" And Trisha goes, "He's got a big hammer." And Ethan goes, "Daddy." That was funny. And also, one of you guys was tweeting at me and was like, "Why are you tweeting? Don't you have a podcast in 4 minutes?" I made it on time. I know that I'm just kind of just like shooting the shit, but is there anybody else out there like me? I'm wondering how many of you guys are like me in that I used to hate to be late. I do hate to be late still for anything, but I also hate, the older I got, the more I hated to be early to anything. So I have to be on time, like exactly on time for most things. Like 5 minutes prior is like too much time for most things. For like a job interview, sure. But I hate, or like my mom is one of those people who wants to show up at the airport like 2 hours before boarding. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. But yeah, I'm kind of catching up, or I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the chat here. So, just like I always try to remember to say, hey guys, this is a public live event. It is done podcast style. I think somebody said what I needed to say on the veranda, if you will. We're having a conversation, so things are going to be all over the place, disjointed. There will be tangents. It may be that we end up talking about something that is not totally related to, or not related at all to the title. So that'll happen from time to time. Well, yeah, I was a little bit nervous about this topic this week because, and it also goes without saying, don't you dare send hate to anyone for any reason, because that's so dumb. That's so dumb and so not the way to act for anyone. So just don't do it. Oh, I'm classy. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, it's a really big topic to take on, and I got to be real. I should have done more research. However, you guys have a lot to say on the matter. So I'm just kind of going into this blindly and hoping that I can find some sort of flow to this conversation. Already I'm checking and I see that I have some notifications in my Discord. So I want to make sure that I clear all those out. If you sent me a DM and I forget to respond to you by sometime at one point tonight, shoot me another DM, because that means I'm just clearing out my notifications and I will totally forget to respond to you, because I know me and that's how I do. Do you know what I wonder too? I wonder, Jake is on the other side of this wall. I wonder how much of this he hears now that he's been here for the past 2 of these. A queen is never late. Everyone is simply early. Love it. Moonchild, you always have the best zingers. So yeah, we talked about different topics, and I really need to start talking about them more ahead of time, to be honest with you. But it was either going to be like, tell us a little bit more about yourself, or let's talk about fandoms and their toxicity. And that's a really big topic. And it's one that, if I'm being honest, I don't have a lot of experience with, because the only I have a lot of experience with, as you guys know, is Gabby Hanna's Fandom. Show with no name. Hello. Hi. I love when I get to see that you are in the chat. Shane Dawson has done so much to poison online discourse about mental health, and Gabby continues the legacy. Now we got Olivia Rodrigo using sociopath to mean jerk in a #1 hit. Not good. I heard, I think I was scrolling through Instagram and 2 people had uploaded TikToks using that song. I mean, that girl's having a moment, right? I mean, I don't know much about her. I know. Oop, I've got a ringing in my ear. I'm not a huge fan of that either. I'm not making a dig at her or her music. I like Deja Vu. I listen to it on my scooter frequently. But I agree with you there. There's certain words we just need to stop just throwing around so much, and certain people who just need to stop using mental health terminology altogether. And I think you guys know who I think that is. So I'm not allowing that person to ruin mental health discussion anymore. Tara, love from England. Always watch on playback, but was able to finally send a super chat. Oh, thank you. You were a subscriber from the start and still love every video. Thank you. That means a lot, because sometimes I worry about the people I lose along the way. I mean, it's just kind of a natural progression. I think the more, what do I know about being a YouTuber? Only from my experience. The more I grow into my platform, the more comfortable I become, the more my real personality starts to come out, and thus my audience is going to change a little bit. So to see that some people have been here since a year plus, that's really cool. But if you are new here, that's also really cool, and I so appreciate the new people that are finding my channel. Did you guys see this new picture that I added? I'm gonna have to find a way to organize all this stuff so it's not so cluttered. But I saw this picture online of this little Frenchie on a bike with some flowers in the basket. He's so cute. Say, Jack, you're so new here. You weren't here well over a year ago. So yeah, what was I saying? That you guys know that I, of course, have a year-long plus history with the Gabby Hanna fandom. And it's really interesting because it's gotten to the point, I don't know if this is public knowledge or not. It hasn't gotten to the point, because it was like this a year ago. There are times when I'm in DMs with a member of Gabby Hanna's fandom and we're talking very rationally to each other. That's happened a few times, and if I'm not mistaken, it's probably happened a number of times with other people who are my followers or who are within my community, or if you really want to go there, like say they're on my team, on my side. It's so weird because you almost get to know these people. It's crazy, and but I do appreciate the moments that we can have a civil discussion, even if we don't agree. So I've said it before, especially on these podcasts on the veranda, that if you are a fan of somebody that I speak critically of, and you are just here to hear what I have to say, and you're not here to be a jerk, I appreciate you. I so appreciate you, nearly as much as I appreciate people who are here to support me. So Lex is gay. Happy Pride Month, Lex. So I'm so sorry to my mods if there are a lot of people that are here that that need to be kicked. There's another, it's not really a community that I don't really care to speak too much to. You guys know about the message that I got on Instagram. I posted it to Twitter, did not expect it to get like much exposure. I've struggled. Like, how do I not mention this community by name? Do I do it? My skirt is like bunching in all kinds of weird ways. But is everybody celebrating Lex being gay? Are we gonna just like be okay with me like standing up and shifting my skirt a little bit? Thanks. Yuki, Lex is your friend. Well, congrats to your friend for being gay and it being Pride Month. Let the gays come out to play. Look at all these rainbows and celebrations and hearts. I'm loving it. Yeah, so I just don't want to talk over like all the celebration that's happening. I look pretty. It's okay. Thank you, Hannah. Or what Bailey Sarian says, get better idols. So there is, I will state the kind of controversy that's kind of going on around these like communities that are like adjacent, I guess I'll say, in that, you know, you have the, like I mentioned, the Gabbiana fandom that I've had the most experience with, and to the point where like I have, like I said, I have normal conversations with some of these people, and then these new people that have come into my life. And I am, this is going to be another, welcome to basically a podcast. We're going to make you pee so hard. That's the new slogan. Hashtag Watergang. It's going to be another one of those. I would love a Bailey collab. The gays have been summoned. So, how do I jump into this? So you guys saw, most likely, I say this and then I realize not many people in my audience are really on Twitter. So you may not have known. If you didn't know, I woke up at some point over the past week to the most vile language in a DM that I've ever seen. You know, we call them death threats, but they're really just trigger warning. I'm gonna talk about death, but not graphically. This person just described in great detail how they would like to see me R-worded and unalived. How much they would like to see it. They would pay money, all this stuff. It's just like really sadistic and gross stuff. Welcome to Hell Elite. You will pee like a racehorse. You will pee like Tom Hanks in any movie. Yes. And I screen recorded that and I posted it on Twitter, just like, God, like, wow, what a way to wake up, right? And then Def Noodles retweeted it. And so more people noticed. The problem is that there is a whole community of people out there. I'm sure that the mods have had to kick a bunch of them. There's a whole community of these, like, I don't know if they're all gamers or if they're people who just like watch these gamers. But and I'll go ahead and tell you guys, because some of you guys might be parents. Not some of you guys might be parents. There are 409 of you in the chat. Some of you guys are parents. It is people within the Roblox gaming community. And I'm not saying that if your kid is playing Roblox or if you're playing Roblox that you're involved in this shit. If you know how to be a decent and nice person, you know how to be a decent and nice person. But yeah, I have not been able to escape members of the Roblox gaming community because a few of them apparently like Gabbiana a lot. There's one or two of them that are very infamous for just making a lot of Alexis, we know about your baby. Hashtag dingo energy. Yeah, I don't, I'm gonna be real. It is so weird to me. The shit, like how I said in my last video or the one before that, this shit is so weird. I don't understand how there are like 15-year-olds out there that have bigger YouTube channels than I do, that have like followings and Discord servers, and like, are you in school? Like, what, like, huh? So, Sajak says the Roblox community is the funniest goddamn phrase I've ever heard. What do I call it? Maybe that's so old, but not mom enough to know what to call it. Is it because it's like a baby game, like a game for kids, like little baby kids, little baby kids? This is why Hello Leash does not have kids. Is it for little Hello baby kids? Gosh, I'm on antibiotics. Cut me a break. Call it bad children community. Okay, it's a community of people who play that game. And here's the thing, is that not who play the game, but who like follow this one teenage girl, I believe it is. And ever since, it's so, you could tell that you could tell that they're kids. That's the thing, is that they're kids. Dee, why did you say you love me so much? I love you too so much, but why did you say you love me so much and then make a sad face? That concerns me. Figure out how to use the block feature if your kid plays it. Yeah, seriously. I can tell when I'm talking to children. You guys might know about my one of my viewers who is a kid. I talk about her a good bit, who's been a viewer of mine for over a year. And it's kind of how I got to know who this kid was they were like leaving mean comments on a Gabby video and sticking up for Gabby, but using curse words really awkwardly. And once I saw that, I was like, oh shit, I think I'm talking to an actual child. And I said something to this child about how, like, you know, we can find out like how to show your parents that you're talking like this. And then that's when she apologized. The funny thing is, if you guys saw me post to Twitter, that mom actually thanked me for kind of, I guess, taking in her daughter, and referred to, I'm not going to say who, but even though I just did say who, but this mom said, I'm so glad she has someone like you to look up to, versus that hot mess she was idolizing before. So I think that's funny. I make you feel safe and you trust me. Thank you. I will not take that lightly. So it makes you nervous, Courtney. Well, thank you for reaching out to say that. I apologize, guys. I have a knot in my back. So yeah. So this person who sent me this really, really nasty message did so in the name of Gabby Hanna. So let's be clear about something. I think something that we need to define, and that's been kind of an argument going on the internet. And my response to this argument is always, a stan is a stan is a stan. We all know, or you should know by now, where that term comes from. That it was from an Eminem song, that Devin Sawa played a fan that was named Stan, who had such a strong parasocial relationship with Eminem that I think he unalived himself because he didn't hear back or something like that. So, I hope everything's okay with what I just said to my friend that is now in the chat, I see. Yeah, so what was I saying? Was that you can be a total loner and be a stan of somebody, of anybody. You could be a total loner out there, not engaging in the chat, watching me, writing me letters that I'm never going to get, and having this very intense relationship with me in your mind. You can be that person. What if you are that person? Kidding. I'm so kidding. Cassie says, man, sadly, I'm that kid. I was that jackass stan. I love you so much. That's funny. I love that you and your mom are just so open with this stuff. I love that. I think it's helpful to people. So thank you, Cassie, for owning that. Yeah, this community loves Cassie, and we look out for her. So, but yeah, what I was saying is that a stan is a stan is a stan. A stan is not necessarily somebody who is a member of a certain friend group. And I think that is getting twisted when we have these conversations about stans and about toxicity and fandoms. And in addition, when we're talking about Gabby Hanna fandom, there are people who are friends with the fans. I call them stan adjacent, who are not super fans of Gabby Hanna. So we need to find the distinction between your friend group and what a stan is. Um, I'm going to get right back to that after I read what Gemma says. Gemma says, I'm in a fan base and I share a different opinion and started getting canceled. It was horrifying, and I don't think it's a good part of the internet culture. Interesting. I'm hoping that there are more stories like that, or I don't want there to be stories like that, but I was hoping that people with experiences like that would write in. So we are going to read some to me. Um, but yeah, I do want to make a distinction that when I say, sure, like for a long time there, when, my friends and I, my followers and I on Twitter would talk about the stands this. Oh gosh, stand this, stand that. Typically we're talking about this group, this friend group online. But there's another conversation to be had about people who do things in the name of that same creator who might not be friends with those people, who might roll with a different crew. And that's what happened as far as I know here. So to I'm sure that there's one of the stands, the social circle stands here. I hope that you walk away from this and maybe tell your friends that people are not necessarily associating that behavior with you guys, but I kind of also want to get this point across too. If somebody is making a poor representation of you, it is your responsibility to talk to that person who's poorly representing you. It is not your responsibility to go to the targets and the victims of these people to like shame them for grouping for how somebody else made you look. I don't know how else to put it. That is a message that I got, is that somebody was just upset because it's like, this person does not represent we the Gabby stands. We don't talk to people like that. We don't. Well, I believe you, but that's not my fault that somebody represented your favorite in that way. So take that up with that person, but also like you might not want to get involved with them because then they come in droves. Honestly, like whether you're in support of me or not, and you come from and you have a Lego person as your profile picture, I don't know what to think of it. I'm probably deleting the DMs because I've had some of them say like, "Oh, I support you. Thank you for what you're doing, blah blah blah." And then they turn around and send me the same vile shit. So that's happened. Another thing that shows that they're kids. Like I was saying, I could tell they're kids by the way that they use curse words. Like they don't get it. I don't know how many of you guys saw that one of them. I said something about that. I was like, "Oh, it's I get the feeling that it's a bunch of like 11 or 13-year-olds like learning how to use curse words. It's like when babies babble and they use a human cadence." And that person said, and some person said, "You better stop. I'm going to sue you. I have 5 lawyers." And that's like, it's funny and it's cute. You could tell you're talking to a kid. I'm going to hashtag Watergang while I figure out how I was going to finish that sentence. You were standing Miley Cyrus. Oh, but yeah, they keep talking about suing, that I'm gonna sue somebody, and furthermore, they're saying that I'm gonna sue the person with the platform, not the person who sent me the nasty vile thing that I said I was gonna press charges on. It was the person who was arguing that has the platform on Twitter that has made a video saying that I'm suing her or something like that. It's not happening. I'm not suing anyone. And I'm suing you. And also, I guess because she's the one with the platform, she thinks that it's all about her, when it's like, you may have a platform, but to me, you're nobody. Just like to plenty of people, I'm nobody. So that's that. So yeah, suing is expensive, and somebody said that Hello Alicia's gonna sue her for everything she's got. Bitch, these people are 14 and 15. What do they have? I'd rather see them in juvie than to try to take whatever allowance they've accrued that week. So yeah, I have some emails. Let's see. I don't have any Discord notifications just yet. That's a lot of lawyers to have miscellaneous. That's a lot. So I wanted to have a conversation about fandoms and about what a creator's responsibility is too. I'm sure that there's a lot more to look into here. I would love to look into like the psychology of fandom toxicity. That might be like an actual video, like a sit down video to make idea. That sentence was structured poorly, but you get it. So I don't know. There's that's just all to say that there's a lot more to this conversation than I'm sure we're gonna have in the next hour or so. But I've already got a bunch of emails from you guys. There is a summary that I wanted to read. I'm going to try to read this quickly because this doesn't talk too largely about fandoms, but it does talk about kind of like a creator's responsibility. So the people that I'm talking about in this email are going to go by pseudonyms. This is a DID system that goes by Paris in this instance. And the two people from this system that we're talking to are Paris and Eve. So I haven't read this through, but I've heard their story more or less. They said that the time period where all this is going on is between November of last year to May of this year. So it looks like they were a member of a Discord server of this YouTuber. I'm curious to know. Alexis, I think that you did send me a message to give to Jesse, and I think I did send it in our group chat. So let me see if I can find the name of this YouTuber. I'm curious to know whether or not you guys have heard of her. Her name is Christina. I'm looking for the last name. I think they said it was Maione. Maione. I don't see it here in the email, but I think I remember it being that. She says that she's a commentary channel, I believe. I heard that she's also done some political commentary, but claims mostly to be social commentary and mental health. So let's just read real quick about what happened with this channel and this server. So this person says, or I'm not sure if it's one person who wrote this in or if it was two people from the system, but this person says, I, Paris, became a trial mod on Christina's server in November. Throughout my time as a trial mod from November to March, a majority of the higher mods were extremely inactive. I carried the weight of moderating the whole server on my own, and I did most of the work. Everyone on the team at the time, except I think this is pronounced Evie, would agree to that fact. There was minimal communication on the team as Evie refused to believe he could ever be wrong in handling a situation, and anyone with a different opinion than him was correct, even the majority. Evie would not handle issues correctly or take action unless it was directly affected him. He allowed harassment, racism, stalking, verbal abuse towards members of the server and people on his own mod team. These are all things that Christina has stated to be against. They are also against the rules on the server. There are multiple instances of gaslighting, many directed at me, but also towards others, Eve, Sprite, and Lamb. The four of us were notably those who stood up to Evie the most. The rest were frightened into taking his side and would not speak up out of fear of ending with Christina and validating our own feelings, everything we had gone through. Evie quit and left. Christina made me admin very suddenly and did not communicate with me as to how she wanted the server run. I cracked down on the troublemakers and began enforcing the rules like it should have been since the beginning. A certain troublemaker did not like this and said I was abusing my power. Christina brought Evie back onto the team and promoted him to admin without asking anyone. This was like throwing a match to a barrel of gasoline, and the series of events on this day was named Evie Geddon. Cute. It was filled with anxiety, breakdowns, trauma, not cute, and more gaslighting as well as Eve directly calling out Evie's behavior and getting gaslit for it. Christina then demoted everyone, including me. I stood up to Evie and condemned him for weaponizing my trauma and brought in one of her personal that those with mental illnesses should not be moderators if they get affected triggering things the members of the server did. This new admin also brought Evie back as soon as I quit and left. Now we're here. Christina claims that her server is not her responsibility, and any abuse, harassment, or bad behavior that happens is not her fault nor her responsibility. It is her mods, and anyone who gets hurt should not be so hurt over it. Below are the relevant screenshots to this portion of the story. They are her own reactions to everything being said and done. She believes we are overreacting and have no right to feel the way we do. They are all from within the last week to a week and a half. Let's see. So there are a couple of tweets here where this person, Christina Maioni, says, I'm not sure where it started. I'm not around here often because my personal life is a mess and so busy, but all I know is people took this way too far. It's a Discord server, not the end all be all for everyone's life. It was a tweet that I found interesting, but I haven't read these actually. Looks like she reached out to everyone and said, "Hi, cuties. Just want to warn you that some ex-members of this Discord are trying to create hate campaigns." All of this rhetoric sounds so familiar. Obviously, you can think for yourself, but please try not to believe everything that others tell you, especially without full context or proof. They're going to try to say things about myself and others that are simply not true or complete. Oh, how long is this? I don't know that I can read this whole statement. Sorry, can't do that. I did see something earlier, though, that was a tweet that I found to be interesting. Maybe it's in the other email that I'll find. No, it was on Discord that I saw it. So what I found interesting was how some people were holding this person responsible for what was happening on her Discord server. And it was on Twitter, I believe, because I saw our very own, all the hashtag trying to catch up. Okay. So, yeah, here are the tweets. Christina says, "Yes, my name is attached to my Discord server. No, I am not responsible for whatever negative experience you've had on the server. I used to be a Miley World member. Did I blame Miley Cyrus for every time someone else was toxic or said something shitty? No, because it wasn't her fault. A lot of people love that server and see it as a safe place. That's the only reason it's still going. If it does not feel like a safe space for you, or if you've had or you've have a negative experience, I'm sorry that happened, but maybe it's not the place for you. Stop directing your anger at me." And then our very own tech ship or all that jazz said, "I don't know the particular situation with your Discord, and I'm not sure if your Discord is something that people have to pay to join. However, I do think it is a responsibility of the person whose name is attached to it to at least disavow possible harmful behavior." And to this, Christina said, "Discord is free. It's basically just a forum place where people can connect and chat about a common subject." Thanks for defining Discord for us, Christina. "Join to talk about my videos or to be a part of that community. I don't know much about what happens there, and I've made it clear that it isn't run by me." That's interesting because it sounds like it is run by her. It sounds like she does kind of like make executive. Oh, that's a little bit confusing. But I think the really important point, part of me wants to rip my hair out and be like, why is this so difficult to understand? But I really don't think it is. I think that it is a very simple concept to understand. And some creators, for whatever reason, are just failing to recognize that they do understand that. And that concept is just what TechShip said, which is, no, you can't control everything that goes on your platform. You can't control what people say and do on your behalf, but you can disavow the behavior. And in fact, it's your responsibility to. I think that the most responsible of creators are going to tell their viewers, their followers from the get-go, do not send hate on my behalf. Do not send hate in general. Don't be nasty. Don't be hateful. Don't be mean. And if you're going to and especially if you're going to attach my name to that, like, screw you, I disavow you because you're making me look bad. Like that does you favors. Like, Why not do that? But I also think that I think that some creators really like the bad behavior. And you can't police all those people. You can't. One creator, if they've got a platform that people are passionate about, able to police all that behavior. But I don't think that's what anybody's asking. I think that we're asking these creators to take a stance against bullying. Really, that's all it is. Velvet Vial says, agree, saying nothing at all is just as bad. Yeah, it's not only complicit, that complicit nature communicates to your fans that not only is this okay, right? And this so take it for what it's worth. But a creator is going to really do themselves in if they say, no, I like this. They're not going to say that. That'll get them in big trouble. So the closest to a I like this that you're going to get is complacency out of that creator, and or maybe a like here and there, maybe a follow here and there, which we've seen happen with people acting abusive online. So, I think I've used this term already this hour, whatever, but I think a lot of us, like, we spin out, we pull our hair out because we just want these creators to take a stance and to speak out against this behavior. But I don't think it's that they don't get it. Maybe some new to owning a platform don't get it at first, but the people that we're talking about, it's not that they don't get it. We want so badly for them to get it. Can we boot somebody, if you guys please? It's not. I'm waiting to see if we get a stable connection. Okay, looks like we're back. Looks like my internet just loves crap out on Tuesdays, or maybe when people say some really vile shit in there. I apologize, you guys. Our moderators are on it as they can, but like I said, because we have this whole community of Lego people, we have to work overtime. So I really apologize. We're working on this quickly. I'm so sorry that you guys are seeing that. Mods, are we good? I just made a chat from Jenna. Oh, looks like that person is in this chat. Christina is. Gemma says, what do you think of bigger celebrities with more massive fan bases? Do you think that they have the same responsibility as smaller creators? We're going to get back to that because I see that I do find it interesting that the creator that we were just talking about is in the chat. And then we also have people spamming really hateful language. So we have to navigate that. I apologize to you guys that that's happening in my chat on my video. Christina, I'm looking for your message. I wonder if those really nasty words are they coming from the Roblox kids? Because somebody needs to tell their parents that they're talking like that. Christina says, I stand against bullying, hatred, racism, everything. I've stood against it many times on all my platforms, including Discord. I never saw abuse by Evie on my Discord team. I appreciate you chiming in, Christina. Not sure how you knew about my live, but I'm always here for a discussion that is reasonable. And let me see. I want to make sure that I get to what Gemma was saying too. We're juggling a lot because I've got all these new friends that I didn't want. Gemma said, what do you think of bigger celebrities with more massive fan bases? Do you think they have the same responsibility as smaller creators? I do. I don't think that it's that hard at all. And I actually was going to say, that I was considering putting celebrity in the title as well. Traditional celebrities are typically more separated from their audience, which I think is a good thing, but still, Demi Lovato, tends to sometimes be problematic. Sometimes she's very much an example, but the way that she has spoke out and said, my fans are passionate, but sometimes they cross a line, or whatever the verbiage she used was. Sometimes they're out of line, I think she said. And so she's spoken out against watching them, mistreat somebody. So yeah, I do think so. I think if a fan base connected to a celebrity is behaving badly, we all have social media. All you have to do is go on Twitter and say whatever. Christina says that she would have honestly expected more from me to fact check what I'm talking about. I'd be happy to speak to you privately and show you the real truth of the story. Christina, you're welcome to write in to my email, and maybe I need to change my system. And if that's the case, then like I'm totally open to feedback from you, Christina, from the people who wrote in, to the people that we were dealing with the past couple of weeks. But here's the thing, because I've had I hate to use language like this, but like opposing factions getting upset because I've read an email from one person. Anybody can email me. And so when I'm reading an email from somebody who's written in, I'm not reading it as fact. I am saying this person or these people have said this to me. This is not, and I'm not, I'm talking about people's experiences. So it's not really something that I'm going to fact check or can really fact check. But you have every right to defend yourself. You have every right to write in as well. And I probably will read it. I am thinking about making some of you, if any of you are, let's take a moment, who are regulars here that would like to be temporary mods. Raise your hand so that you can be quick on booting certain creators, or not creators, certain chatters. Sammy Croft, I just made you a temporary mod. I hope that's okay. Christina, I hope that is an acceptable answer to you. That's what I've got. It's, hey, Alicia, let's not time out that person. Let's go ahead and kick anybody that's got language like that. Hide them from the channel altogether. And feel free, if you guys want to say in the chat, so-and-so has been booted, but it sounds like maybe there's a lot of, activity that perhaps we may need some more temporary mods. So if you're up for the job, I might just go ahead and mod you up. Just a journalist, I recognize you a good bit, so I'm going to add you as a mod, if that's okay. I can't keep up with this. The chat is like moving too fast. I cannot even, I was going to mod somebody. Hopefully we're working up. Nope, lost it. So yeah, I mean, it's so complicated, right? But what I don't like is this language that it's not my responsibility, because I think what needs to come first is, for one, it's a little bit tricky. And before I even knew that creator was in this chat, Alexa's about to get the belt. Before I saw that creator was in here, I was going to say it's a little bit trickier, because I think that there is more of a responsibility on the part of the creator when we're talking about like a Discord server, when people are paying to be on that in that Discord server. For sure, if you are like if it's attached to a membership or a Patreon, like you're making money off of that. You have every responsibility for what goes on there. This person has made her Discord free, so more will go on there, and I would argue that she doesn't necessarily have any responsibility to like be in there on a day-to-day basis or to see what's going on there. But when people bring to your attention that nasty shit is happening in your name, on your platform, in support of you, just by people who are representing you because they're just well known in your community, yes, it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to say, I do not condone this behavior. You don't necessarily need to call that person out by name, but I do think it is easy, especially us commentators, because we have opinions, right? We tend to have people that we like. We tend to have people we don't like so much. And so we're going to attract people who are going to be pretty, I don't want to say loyal followers, but there are some people. I don't want people to be loyal to me. I want people to hang around because they like what I'm saying. But there are going to be some people who are loyal and protective of the creator, and then there are going to be people who attack the creator and attack those two opposing factions are going to be going at it. And so yes, if you are a creator, particularly a commentary channel or anything else that, like, we live in a divisive part of the internet, yes, it is your responsibility. Yeah, it is, to say no. Then by all means, then I'm not talking about you. But we've seen this happen with, I mean, I've already freaking said her name, but, you know, we saw that these like Roblox kids were saying this stuff in the name of Gabby Hanna, and Gabby Hanna has yet to speak out against it. And what I hate too is that you guys might have seen last year, I dealt with an ex-fan, somebody who is not as much of a fan stand so much as they kind of like hopped around to different fandoms, and then latched onto me and asked for help with things. And I got close to this girl, and she turned out to be lying about every single thing that she told me, including potentially faking a seizure on camera or on FaceTime, which had me frantically calling 911. This person also faked the death of a person while I was visiting with her. So I had to be the one to take care of her. It was just really awful stuff. And though she never admitted to it, there was a Twitter account that was sending just really awful, gory images and awful messages aimed at this person. And it was, you know, like I've talked about the Gabby Hanna Standom as a social circle. And, you know, some of them suspected like, hey, we don't know who this is. At first I thought for sure you guys know who this is. And then a lot of them said, we don't know who this is. We think it's somebody who's trying to make us look bad, blah, blah, blah. And that's all fine and good. And it's all fine and good to be angry with that person for doing that. But my problem after realizing that wasn't the case, that they didn't know who this person was. And still to this day, my issue with that whole situation was just that somebody was saying this stuff in Gabby's name and Gabby didn't speak out against it. It got Gabby's attention. If you guys didn't know, Megan Ranks had a whole conversation with Gabby about this situation. And all anyone wanted was for Gabby to speak out against that behavior. Hey, whatever this account is saying, I don't condone it. That's it. Instead, Gabby, the action that she took, I don't know if I told you guys this, but she decided to talk to this ex-fan that I was talking to and have a private conversation and just be like, oh, they're just trolls, don't pay attention to them. And that was it. And I actually kind of gaslit the girl in some conversation that I saw. It was just in poor taste, some of the stuff. But like, even when Gabby wants to go and try to do something about it, she's still not going to go public and tell her audience, don't do this. And that's one, I'm tagged somewhere. Are we frozen? I can't give you guys slow chat while I'm in the middle of it. Sorry. Okay, now you guys are saying you need slow chat. All right. Well, then that means I'm going to have to take a moment. I don't know that I can do that in the middle. Somebody's told me that I need to do that in the middle of or before I start. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything happen with the chat, so I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Okay, one of the mods said, it's all right, we're good right now. I think maybe I was frozen. Ooh, that was a bad freeze, because I was just like talking at you guys for a long time and like realizing I was realizing that like nobody's saying anything. Like, am I like just really missing the mark? I'm gonna hashtag water gang real quick while we get caught up, because that was frazzling. Yes, thank you for being patient with my mods. You know, we didn't know what to expect going into this because of all the new people that have found me. Yay. I saw King Christina's, I saw a couple of messages. I don't know if I saw her response to me talking about the Discord server and kind of where I stand on there. But yeah, you can absolutely write in. And if it's still something that's relative to the conversation, or if there's misinformation, if there is information to be corrected, misinformation to be corrected, I will do that. I did that. If you didn't know, was it the last two podcasts? I had one person who had a story about art credits, and we were talking about the art credits. And then by the next week, I had disavowed that person for some things that they were saying online, and then they got upset with me, so then they were in my shit. And then her sister wanted me to talk about her side of their family drama. Now that I had disavowed the first person, I was like, no, I'm just talking about art credits. And it turns out that person did get art credits, and so I did have to go back the next week and correct what I said to everybody. So I am totally willing to do that, Christina, if what I told was falsifiably untrue. Yeah, I'm really so sorry to how disturbing that was to any of you guys. I unfortunately cannot do slow chat in beforehand. And the reason I don't is just because I don't want to just have like a lag in the chat. Boot Jake off the Wi-Fi. He knows that he's not allowed to be on the Wi-Fi on Tuesday nights. He's just watching a DVD. No, it's not Jake, you guys. Hi, Allison. You can write me an email. We can talk offline. This is for me to chat with my audience, podcast style. So there's a couple of other emails that I wanted to open up. I thought there were some really interesting stuff. Like I said, I don't know. Like, I know that there are other fandoms that go so hard, and I just don't get it. Because for one, when I was young enough to really be like a radical fanatic, like as close to something that as you could call, I remember my dad being concerned because I liked Hanson. I mean, I would say I'm showing my age, but you guys know how old I am. I'm a 35-year-old lady. So yeah, please don't spam the chat. You'll just be kicked off my channel and I won't read your emails, but you can absolutely read me an email. I can't ask Jake to join the chat because he's across the wall, and also he's sick. He's sick with what I have. Only showed me Coke. Okay, I don't need anybody to call anyone names. You know. So anyway, also, I'm not going to discount people's personal experiences. If you're not, it's one thing to say, hey, I didn't know about it, but it's another thing to say that didn't happen when it may have happened. So, Sammy, I hope you're okay with having a temporary blue wrench. I panicked when I saw some bad words. So where was I? Okay, yes, bop is right, Alexis. That's right. Dance, dance, dingo energy. I was a huge fan of Hanson. The funny side story, if you didn't know this, my patrons know this, but I think maybe I've told you guys in a video that Jake and I have played the game, like, when you're dating somebody and you're like, would we have liked each other as kids? Like, if we met at whatever age, would we have gotten along? Would I have had a little crush on you? And we play that game, and Jake and I both grew up a little more heavy set than we are now. And his answer to that was no. I looked exactly like Zach Hanson, and I got made fun of for it. Meanwhile, I am just over the moon for Zach Hanson, to the point where I had this the bifold picture frame that has the oval cut out here and the oval cut out here. And so I put my school picture in one and I put a picture of Zach Hanson in the other one. So, you guys are, I'm kind of checking out the chat. I don't want to sound like whatever, but if there's anything that you need me to read, if you could send it as a super chat, if you're a patron, if you could send it in Patreon and tag me, or if you can send an email. Sending in emails during the podcast is not really the best way to get read, but it's possible. Hey, did Bob make an appearance? Hey, Bob. Bob, I need you this week. I'm sick and they're coming for me. People I don't know, people I'm not used to dealing with. That's all just a joke. No, Not you and Jake having meant to be. Yeah, what if not that I didn't look like anybody that he had a crush on that I know of, so maybe I did. Maybe I did. Maybe we just haven't figured that out. What was I saying? I was a fan to the point that I had my own little like Zach Hansen cartoon that I would draw, and we moved a lot because we were military, so and we didn't have a lot of entertainment when we would go on these cross country drives. So I to this day I have horrible penmanship, so I would sit in the back seat while we were on these road trips with a composition book, and I would neatly write out all the lyrics to every Hanson song. And I remember my dad getting upset because he was like, "This is fanatic. You're displaying fanatic behavior. And why are you writing the lyrics? Why are you writing the lyrics to those songs when the lyrics are already in the booklet in the CD when you get them?" And he's right. They were there, but this is what I wanted to do. My dad is like super soft these days. And in fact, after when I hopped from Hanson to liking Third Eye Blind, and then he checked out their lyrics, he told me he regretted discouraging the Hanson phase. So I think that's funny. Still stan Hanson. Hanson's awesome. Like, who doesn't like Hanson, right? But that's the closest that I think that I've ever came to being like a stan. In adulthood, there were bands that I really, really liked and that I would get really excited to see live. So it started with Walk the Moon, but then that became more about Magic Man, and I would like kind of like hop around and follow them a little bit between like DC and New York, do some work with them. I would get really excited and starstruck, but I never was like a member of a fandom. So it's just not something that I've ever really understood. And so I still don't understand, for sure I can conceptualize that there is a lot of mob mentality that goes on. And from what I've seen from the one fandom that I've dealt with, I've noticed that it almost seems that there's like a detachment from reality. By the way, this conversation like has been going on for an hour already. We may have to make this 2 parts or more, and I'm okay with that. If you guys were around for Girl Man's podcast, you saw that we talked about the same topic, I think 5 or 6 episodes in a row. But sorry that you don't love Hanson, Liz. You're missing out. But what I've noticed, or what I theorize for, again, here's your favorite armchair psychologist. What I notice for one is that a lot of these people in these groups, at least that I've encountered, have for one spend so much time in these groups. And I don't think that COVID is helping, because it's giving people way too much time on their hands and way too much time to be on the internet. And so what I'm noticing is seemingly this like this solidarity that they have, right? They have these a place to belong, but they're spending so much time online and on a platform that detaches them from reality. So things like when we try to say, "Hey guys, like you could get in legal trouble for this, like you could get arrested for this, like you can't be doxing people, you can't be calling people this and that." Like we try to tell these people like, "Hey, these things are illegal," and it's like it's not computing. And I try to say, hey, like your favorite, the person that you're defending, won't say and do the things that you're saying and doing because she knows better, because she knows she's going to get in trouble, but she's allowing you to do it, and they do it. And I just think that it's a combination of like a detachment from reality, indoctrination, and mob mentality, also combined with a want/need to be noticed by this creator. And that's dangerous. And that leads us back to the point I was making before about making it very clear that you do not stand for this behavior. Because if I'm following somebody in my, who is a follower of mine, and I see that they are using this nasty, vile language or committing crimes, then it's going to be my place to, at the very least, unfollow that person. But to do the opposite, to follow the people that behave in these ways and to act complicit when they act in these ways, when the world knows that that they're saying and doing these things. So to not, to have a passionate fandom and to not speak out against hateful behavior is highly irresponsible. It is your responsibility. Because think about we all have a certain responsibility to humanity. And so there's certain ways you can look at it. You have a responsibility to the people of the world and the influence that you have on those people. So you have a responsibility to, I always say, to leave this place better than how you found it, if nothing else. You don't necessarily need to like do amazing, great, wonderful things that'll go down in history books, but leave this place better than you found it. Don't, so yes, if people are acting nasty in your name, then speak out against that. The other thing too is that the other rhetoric that I'm sick of hearing is just like, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be anybody's role model. I didn't ask for this. Well, you know what? Doesn't matter if you asked for it or not, you are, and you're making money off of it. Like, these kids, a lot of times they're kids, and especially in the situation that I'm dealing with here in the past week, they're kids. Problem is that their leader is also a kid, but yeah, they're kids, and they're super malleable. And I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm trying to kind of veer away from talking about Gabby Hanna, but there's no way not to when discussing this topic. But there is literal proof video online of Gabby saying at the very beginning of her career that she is trying to build an audience of young, moldable minds because that's what brands want. She is looking for malleable brains. And the people who stand her are not realizing that you are the malleable brain that she curated her audience to be made of to make money. Because she said it's all about that dollar sign, which is not a thing, Gabby. Hashtag Watergang. I am sick. So the video is a little janky, but the sound is fine. Is the video lagging? I got a really nice webcam. Savage Garden is so good. So underrated. So let's see if I've got time to read a couple more emails before I just start going off on my soapbox. Let's see. Just so you guys know, the shorter you can make your emails, the more likely they are going to be read. They're really meant to be more like just message, like chat, like a free super chat that you just send ahead of time. But it's interesting to hear about other fandoms that I just don't know about. I can't read this whole email because it's a little bit longer than I can handle, but this person brought to my attention one good example that they could think of related to YouTube is RuPaul's Drag Race fandom, that it's mostly 13 to 17-year-olds. And, that it looks like when there's beef between one queen and another queen, then it seems like their fandoms start fighting. That makes sense. Of course, I don't think about these things because, I'm not involved in these communities, so I don't even realize. Jamie, I love that you say sugar scrub to mean subscribe. Did you make that up or did you hear that somewhere? It's so cute. Do I remember that girl Mance where I said Darren's has the voice of an angel? I said it like that, and I included not even a 1-second clip of him singing. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to try to hit that note. My dad hits that note when he's cleaning on a Saturday. I woke up to find one day. So I'm realizing this stuff is probably everywhere. Another long email, unfortunately, I can't read, but this person is talking about, and maybe I will condense some of these emails and we'll continue this conversation into next week or another week. But this person is talking about fandoms within the WWE. And so surely, when you're talking about fighters, and especially with some of the manufactured drama that is in that industry, that's going to cause people to fight. Ugh. Here's a short one. This is from Shannon. Shannon, I do recognize you. You respond to a lot of things on Twitter and in my comments. Hey, Leash, for BAP, instead of talking solely about the danger of standoms and fandoms, maybe we can discuss and speculate as to why they exist and at what point they became cult-like. What draws these people in? Why they stay? And maybe consider the types of people that jump on the stand wagon. Cute. Types of people may not be the correct word, but I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Unfortunately, there will always be these collectives of people who find themselves as misfits and ultimately find common ground, shaky, but still common ground nonetheless, amongst other misfits. But at what point is enough enough? Are these people brainwashed by said influencer, or are they biologically inclined to seek a type of salvation in all the wrong ways, or a bit of both? Just an idea and a curious spin on what's been going on. Love you. Love you too. I think you kind of answered your own question. As to my knowledge, I'm not, again, not a psychologist, so I can only say what I think. But I do think that you're onto something when you talk about people who are misfits or just in general are having a hard time socially. And again, COVID is making that worse for young people, for everybody, but for young people too, when you're, still developing an identity and your personality is still developing, having that sense of belonging, and then having loud. This is Savannah. They are really, really loud with their cars. I want to send in the text here. We can flag it for leash. You can, Moonchild is a patron, so you can send something to the basically a podcast channel, and if the mods see it as something that I should read aloud, they will drop it into a chat where I can, where they'll tag me. And you guys did tag me, and I have no idea what happened. Oh, you sent super chat. I'm so sorry. Moonchild sent me a super chat, and I was looking elsewhere. Fat Sajak, can you link me to your wiki feed? It doesn't exist. People don't like my feed because they're flat and fat and ugly. Sorry, no foot shaming around here, even self foot shaming. I'm looking for Moonchild's super chat. I feel like such a dick. I don't love missing a super chat, but here's what I'll do. I will find it. I'm not going to put the onus on Moonchild to go and recreate their super chat. I'm going to see if I can multitask and find where that is. I think I can find it on my creator studio. But to Shannon's point, while I look for Moonchild's super chat, to Shannon's point, yeah, I do think that being like a misfit, for lack of a better word, or just somebody who is seeking identity and belonging and solidarity, all those things, it makes perfect sense that one would cling to people who, somebody who has a common ground, like you said, however shaky it is a common ground nonetheless. And it's possible that maybe because these people, I am just going total speculation nation here, but it's possible, or makes me wonder, does that already being predisposed to influence because you are a misfit. This is all theories, but being like a misfit or being maybe a little socially awkward or being a little uncomfortable socially, can it make you more susceptible to becoming indoctrinated? I don't want to offend anybody who identifies as socially awkward or has a hard time socially, but hopefully some of you can get understand what I'm saying. I think we saw it a lot with Trisha Paytas, not that they are members of a fandom or a standom, but just kind of like struggling with a sense of identity and trying to belong, trying so hard to belong that they ended up causing harm. Trying to find words or belonging for, So I unfortunately am not seeing the super chat that was sent. That sucks. Oh wait, here we go. Because I believe Sajak and I, we didn't figure it out. Bummer. Is there anybody that can take a screenshot? Moonchild, I'll give you your money back if that helps. Yeah, I really wish I could find it, and I wish somebody had a screenshot or somebody knew more or less what you were saying so that I could address it. How about I love you? I love you so very much, and I think you're very funny. You always have funny things to say, and I really want to know what you said. I'm curious. I also have not been keeping up with the chat to see if I'm offending people because that worries me. It was a frenemies quote. Oh, I love frenemies quotes. Please tell me that you rewrote it now. Me 5 minutes ago. I'm not going to put the onus on Moonchild. Oh, basically, that's right. The people who are non-OGs are meant to, they are meant to tag a mod if they need something read. They need to do that in the YouTube and Twitter channel. And then the mods will put that into this. Sorry about that. I forgot. Thank you, Leah, for reminding me. I followed Sajak's instructions and I did not find it there, unfortunately. I don't see the supers tab. I went to analytics. I went to the revenue tab, and there's no supers, unfortunately. I don't know why. It makes me sad. I'll keep trying. But I mean, I'm curious as to what people think. You're especially talking about. So here's the thing: we're talking about people oftentimes who are like teenagers. That's often what we're talking about. So you're talking about people who are super impressionable, and we're talking less about celebrities and more about influencers who have a closer relationship with their audience. I may have found a different screen. I'm looking for those supers, but can't find it. I'm really sad. I want to know what this quote is. I want somebody to tell me what this quote is. Please. Yuki caught some screenshots and posted them in YouTube and Twitter. Thank you, Melissa. You're so on it. Let's see what screenshots we can find. Nope, I don't see it. Yeah, and then that kind of brings things back to the question that somebody had before, which is, do you think celebrities have the same responsibility? Yeah, they do have that responsibility, but they don't have as much accessibility, or the fans don't have as much accessibility. So, it's a whole other monster. I'm not seeing any screenshots from Yuki. What am I missing? I'm so embarrassed, you guys. I'm so sorry. I see. No, I don't see the screenshots you guys are talking about. I'm about to lose it. Leash loses it on camera. Not super chats. What? Those were responses to chat. Don't worry about them right now. Okay. Well, if anybody can tell me what Moonchild said, that would be awesome. Is that Alistair? Hey, Alistair. Hello, Alicia. Sorry you missed me. I'm sorry you missed me too. Thank you for the super chat. If anybody can tell me what Moonchild said, I'm not gonna let it go. I'm not. Alistair, I love when you pop in, and I love when you comment, and I love when you check in with me to see if your comments are okay. You're always okay by me. Unless you're mean and an asshole to someone, then I cannot stand by any of that. So so now we've seen that there is. I thought that when I talked about fandoms that people were going to bring up like the Ariana Grande fandom. We hear about that, the Demi Lovato fandom, BTS fandom, but we're hearing about WWE. We're hearing about RuPaul's Drag Race. Let's see if there's another. So somebody has 120 screenshots of things. Ugh, okay, so there's something about a creator we already talked about. I don't want to open that up again just yet. Let's see. Then somebody else brought up a really good point about Shane Dawson, his fandom. When I don't know if I can read all of this if there's not enough time, but it would be interesting to talk about Francesca Ramsey. I don't know who she is, but I remember there was just like an issue with this person. Receiving a lot of harassment from Shane Dawson stans, which I can only imagine how rabid they might be, because Shane Dawson was one of the largest creators before he was canceled. He probably still has a lot of rabid stans. Resulted in Shane tweeting about how he wasn't being racist and justified doing blackface as playing a character. He and Francesca started to tweet back and forth to each other. He accused her of being negative and hateful. This resulted in her receiving threats and racist comments from his 2 million follower fan base, then later made his first but not last apology video and mentioned her by name, which resulted in more of his fans harassing her. Even years after this happened, the harassment didn't stop. Even though Shane apologized, he talked about a revenge fantasy he had about dismembering a certain SJW C word on his podcast, and his fans knew he was talking about her. See, this is so irresponsible. Your fans know who you're talking about. Let's be real about that for a second. Hey, Rachel. Thank you for paying to let me know that Sajak is trying to get my attention. Side tab that has a $sign and then supers. I went there. Creator Studio. Watch. I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get to the main Creator Studio. But yeah, your audience knows what you are trying to do when you are signaling, or even when you're just vaguely expressing contempt for someone. To speak out against this behavior, you have to speak out against it. Even if you're gonna, even everybody talks a little bit of shit here and there, fine, but make it clear to your audience that there's something you don't agree with. Okay, Creator Studio, analytics. Maybe because I went to the video. That's probably what I did wrong. I went to the analytics of the video. Me trying to act like it's not user error. The computer messed up. It's the robots. So yeah, I'm on the revenues tab and I don't see supers. Awesome. Yeah, it's not under channel analytics and it's not under the video analytics. I don't know what to tell you. Oof. Peace and love to those little kids. Thank you, TechShip. Go to analytics, go to monetization. Supers. Thank you. Oh my God, Ashley. Like, I can't be mad at you because you've sent me money, but I see you. I hear you. Thank you. For the love of God, pay attention. It's monetization and the super. Oh, I feel bad that you guys sent me money to say this stuff. Can I buy you a drink? Possibly some socks. Naily, you're funny. I missed a lot of them. I'm gonna read these. Even my mod's yelling at me. Ashley says, Alicia, for the love of God, pay attention to Sajak. Rachel says, Lil Nug, Sajak is trying to get your attention. Sajak says it's in monetization on the side, and then supers. Alistair, I read that one. Naily says, hey, can I buy you a drink? Possibly some socks. I prefer my women a bit more modest. Sorry, I'm not a modest woman. Sajak, can you link me to your wiki feed? I said that wasn't established. And Moonchild said, with peace and love, goodbye to all you little kids. Seriously, with peace and love, this is a very important message. Winnie Lepu said, I was a former mod. These are lies. I appreciate the donation. You're welcome to write in. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that I missed. I see that Show with No Name sent me a little, it looks like a fox or a little, not a fox, but what is it? An Akita? Akita or Shiba Inu? Shiba Inu? That's what it looks like. Gemma said, I'm in a fan base and I shared a different opinion. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Okay. I think maybe, I also see Sajak sent scissors. Cool. Thanks. I have several pairs of scissors, so that's what that's about. Thank you, Dante, if you're still here. And Victoria, to saying that I'm amazing and she loves me so much. I love you too. Brandy says, oh, these might be from last week. I'm like, how did I miss all these? I read a couple from last week. Okay, that makes sense. Is everybody fine with me? Goodness. I listened to you. It's not my fault that I'm older than you, Sajak, by at least a month. Also, like, you try being on live and then having technical issues and then trying to sort them out. Ashley's probably like, yeah, I can do that just fine. Ashley can do anything on a computer. Ashley is like Haxor to the max. Haxor to the maxor. I love my little joke. Doctor Who fans. So now we're also saying that there are fandoms, it makes sense, attached to different shows. Interesting. So I'm going to grab, I don't know if I'll be super active in chat for a bit, but all my Halacia brethren, I love you, and I'm glad that we had a nice chat. I'm glad you had a nice chat too. Let's see. Yeah, so there are a bunch of tweets related to the Shane and Francesca stuff. That was really unfortunate. Yeah, and then again, another unfortunately long email that I can't read. But just it's another one about wrestling. So apparently that's these fandoms are strong in the wrestling community. Jamie says peace and love to Hello Leash and the mods. Yes, I love you, mods. Even when you yell at me, I do appreciate this is a really big job to do. Yeah, I feel like I was all over the place. I don't. This idea of dealing with fandoms is new to me, and I'm going to be honest. Oh, Ashley says we yell because we love you. Thanks. That's teaching me really good values. No, you had every reason to yell. Thank you, Meegs. Not to make this about me, but you got suspended on Twitter. Well, I mean, you're paying to let people know that. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it wasn't for too long, but also take a break from Twitter. It's nice. It's Nat says, I've been recovering from surgery since Wednesday. Just wanted to say thanks. Aw, for providing a chill place to hang out and talk. I hope you're feeling better, Nat. I hope they gave you some good stuff. And that you're able to quit taking them when you're supposed to. But yeah, I hope you feel better. Sajak says I'm still your favorite wife. You guys don't need to pay me to make me feel better about the fact that you yelled at me because you paid to yell at me. and you work for me and pay me. So like I deserve to be yelled at no matter what. Yeah. I deserve to be yelled at. And if I'm going to be yelled at by anyone, I want it to be you guys. No, I don't. I don't want it to be you guys because everybody else, all these fans of these different fandoms, I can just write them off. But with you guys, it hits my heart. Just letting you know it's effective. I listen to you guys. I do. I listen to the people who are reasonable. The viral videos that I'm going to sue Lisa. Yeah, I'm not watching that. I'm sorry, but it's some bullshit. I've already told that girl's fans, like, I'm not suing anyone, never said I was going to sue anyone. I understand that they're just trying to like spin a profit off of making up a story. And like, it's funny because so many times I've heard like, oh, you're using so-and-so's name for profit. And me saying, again, I don't know this community. I don't really like care to get to know it. Like, okay, you're lying and saying that I'm gonna sue somebody. You don't have any screenshots that say that unless they're doctored. But people talk way too much about doctored screenshots and making up screenshots. Like, I think then people actually make them. So, I mean, where's the proof? I'm not worried. I do not carry myself in a way online that I can't back up. Somebody did point out to me, I will say, we were talking about that account that was saying really sending the gory images to to the girl that I took in that was likely created by that girl. And somebody pointed out, because I said, I called this person a stan because they're standing Gabby Hanna, not because they're a member of you. And then one of them pointed out, they were like, no, actually, this did it in a not very nice way. They called me a hypocrite, and they're like, when you get called out in your lies, blah, blah, blah. But it turns out that I did say that, like, it's one of you guys, or you guys know who it is. And so I stood corrected, even though that person was a dick to me with how they let me know, I still stood corrected. Hashtag Lil Nug Love. Thank you, Rachel. But like, I don't carry myself in a way online that I need to be worried about what people are saying about me online, for the most part, right? Also, it's not said avoiding the narcs. The BAPs are a fun distraction. Well, good for you, honestly. Like, that's impressive. I thought somebody was saying, Clarice says, here's me yelling at you. Lisa, you're amazing and a huge inspiration. I don't know if I'm like in super inspirational mode today. I'm on antibiotics and I thought, I'm feeling good enough for this. And now I'm like, I didn't do a good job today. I didn't. I failed you guys. No, I didn't. I don't want to sound that hard on myself. I'm venturing into a territory that I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, I can conceptualize it. Maybe I just have not spent enough time thinking about it, or I haven't spent enough time thinking about it outside of the Gabby Hanna fandom. Like, how that works and how that's become cult-like makes so much sense to me, because I've seen so much of it play out over the course of the past year, being so involved. Somebody said hashtag water gang, and I need it. Like the video if you are not a toxic stan. You can stand somebody if you want, but if you do not stand for stan toxicity and bullying, like the video, please. Or don't. If I didn't provide you any entertainment today, then don't. But yeah, those are kind of, unfortunately, I really couldn't read the emails for the most part. Somebody said I have some screenshots of some of the chaos that went down in chat today in case you'd be interested. Won't send them without your consent since they are disgusting and triggering comments. Yeah, I'm so sorry that happened, you guys. Thought I'd reach out to you so you have more proof of all the toxic behavior and hate you've been exposed to. Why don't I take a moment to speak to that? Because so many of you have expressed concern over me, asked if I'm okay every day, checking in to see if I'm okay, especially when you see certain language being slung my way. I don't know if it is from my years as an alcoholic and getting sober and then dealing with grief and all of that, but when you go through some shit, and I know that everybody wants to say, I've been through some shit. Nayli, stop apologizing. We bust your balls because we love you. You bust my balls because you needed my attention, let's be real. But I love you. And I'm impressed that you extended some affection. I'm really impressed. Lynn says, fandom is a large topic that can be overwhelming. There are many avenues to research it and inform yourself. No. It's a learning process. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, there's probably just too many aspects of it. And I talked just about like, a couple of aspects of it in this one fandom in my last 2 videos. So, well, it was really the video before last. But a lot of people, you make a very good point, Lynn. But a lot of people have reached out after seeing all these really nasty messages and have asked if I'm okay. And I don't want to downplay the severity of the language people are using. I am very, very upset that people are just existing out there and speaking like this. What's weird to me too is that so many of these, now you can be racist or whatever, sexist, whatever, on either side of a political spectrum. But I find it interesting that, how do I put this? That these communities oftentimes, especially those that exist, around a YouTube, creator, is that they tend to exist more on the left, in like the more on the social justice side of things. And those are the people that are coming into chats and using such vile language that is just offensive for anybody. should be offended by reading those words. Marie says, you're doing great. Oh, thank you. Feel better soon. If I could share the tasty food I'm off to make, I would. I need to eat dinner. Making me jealous. Did we get rated? I mean, yeah, maybe by those people. But just so you guys know how I'm feeling, I personally am not all that triggered by what's being said. Maybe that first one a little bit, I was just like, "Ooh, like that person's imagining me in that context." Um, but now the more that I see that, first of all, like if I see the word hoe with a zero, like I already know that this message is not going to be nice. I'm not going to read it. And it's also gotten to the point where a lot of Jake's making dinner. When I see a Lego-headed person, I generally know like there's a good chance that I'm just going to delete this before reading it. But you know, those that I do see, they're not affecting me in the way that some people are worrying about. So I thank you guys for checking in on me to see if how I'm doing with all of that. Um, I I just really want to the first person who sent it, who had the nerve to say all that vile shit, I want that little shit to get in big trouble. That's what I want. Because I do like while I don't personally like I wasn't all that like I said, I'm not getting all that triggered by these messages. I do have a firm stance against cyberbullying and really like language of this nature. And I would love to see people get in trouble for it because for the past year, we have been talking. When I say we, I mean me and a few of my followers, the ones I associate with the most. We've been talking to people for the past year about what makes their behavior illegal. Like we don't it's not even our job to explain that to you. And so if this person who as far as I know they've already been summoned to court or I think they've got some sort of email about like do you need accommodations because they've been subpoenaed, I think. Um and so like I'll let you guys know like do I say how I know? I have a somebody in my family. My family comes from people who work for the government. Let me just put it that way. And so it's not that hard to find out, you know, who people are behind these accounts. They pretend to be other people, or they hide behind VPNs. But by the way, that is not VPNs are not going to help you get away with crimes because it's still possible to report a crime and then get your information from a VPN. Just so you know. But I would love for somebody to get do I think that person is mentally ill? I don't know because this is a new side of teenagers and the internet that I'm not familiar with because I would say yes if it was just that one person, but seeing so many people talk that way, I'm like, holy shit, it's an epidemic. Um, but yeah, I would love that's where I was saying is I feel like there's just like mob mentality mixed with a detachment from reality. But I would like for reality to hit some of these people. I would love for and so that's why I would love to sit down with some of the people, some of my friends that had crimes committed against them, to sit down and make sure that we are pressing on these reports that we previously filed. Go back, call these law enforcement officials again, report these things again, and have them followed through with. It can happen, and you can take action if people are doing these things to you. You can, and you should. And this person who sent me this nasty, nasty message, I'm not suing. I don't need to sue her. Like my money and resources don't need to go into this. All I need to do is make a call and give whatever information I have on that person, their name, their location, and all of that. And that stuff is not hard to find. In fact, I don't even need that. I can just call their ISP provider and that was redundant, their ISP and just tell them that I need, or you call the police department. The police department will go from their IP address and then can get their internet service provider, and then they obviously can provide information on who the person is. Alistair says, sorry, I've missed you tonight. I was talking to my dad. Sorry for what I said in the comments of one of Gabby's videos. Thank you, Alistair. You don't have to apologize to me. If you felt like you were out of line, then maybe go back and apologize or take out those comments. If you didn't say anything wrong and you stand by them, stand by them. But you don't have to apologize to me. If you did say anything out of line, don't I don't condone that. So we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, just know if somebody is doing this shit to you, you don't have to sit by and take it. I also do not like the language around of course, everybody's different. Some people fare better by pretending that whatever bullying that goes on online is not happening and they just ignore it and it goes away for them. You hear that a lot. I hear that a lot. Just ignore it, it'll go away. I don't operate like that. I don't. If something bothers me, then I'm going to make it known that I'm bothered. And if it hurts me, I'm going to let you know that I've been hurt. And if you think that's funny or you find it entertaining that I've been hurt or you just don't care, then that's on you. That's something's fucked up there. That's not on me. So, I'm going to be honest about how things make me feel and I'm going to be honest about what I'm going to do. And I think I encourage others to do so as well. It's not that difficult to file a report. There's ic3.gov. And you can also, if you know where the person, you can probably do so by calling your own local law enforcement. But I've done so by calling the jurisdictions that these people live in. But yeah, I would really like to see this person get in big trouble. And it's not because I want their life ruined. I would rather this happen to somebody when they're 14, 15 years old than when they're, 25 years old and they're going to get tried as an adult and they've had another decade of this behavior being kind of, perpetuated potentially. So I would rather a teenager get in trouble and learn their lesson from it and then potentially their friends also seeing what happens and potentially learning that lesson too. And then also honestly, these stands out here that maybe you're not doing anything that terrible, but you're still breaking the law and trying to downplay the severity of your own actions. Maybe you might see too that Hello Leash is serious about going and filing reports and is encouraging other people to do. And it's not on us. If you've broken the law, if you get in trouble, that's on you. And I think that might be the message that I need to leave this on. For those of you that have had crimes committed against you, cyberbullying, harassment, etc., take action if it's bothered you. Those of you who are committing it or have committed it, fucking stop, for one. And for two, any sort of backlash or consequences you get from that, stop blaming on other people. That's not on anyone but you. And to the creators who people are doing this in the name of, it is your responsibility to speak out against this behavior. It is all of our responsibilities to say that we don't condone this behavior because we are influencers. When you have influence, it's your responsibility to speak out and say that you don't condone certain behavior, that you only promote good behavior. And so if Miley Cyrus didn't do that, and she should have, then she should have. That's not whatever that argument I saw earlier was not an argument, in my opinion. It was not a valid one anyway. So yeah, I want to make sure that I see I'm tagged a couple of times. To see if there's anything else that we wanted to read. I think it was just regarding the oh, Lolly, thank you for what you said. I know Lolly's kind of private, but she said, don't be too hard on yourself. You had a literal rush of spammers in the middle of your live. It would throw off anyone. And just so that you guys know, I'm sorry that you guys had to see that, but I'm sorry. But maybe I shouldn't say sorry. To the people who saw it, I am sorry. But to my mods, thank you. Thank you for doing what you could to get rid of what you could and take care of that situation. To my viewers, to the people in the chat, thank you for being patient with me and my mods while I tried to find Moonchild's super chat for one, trying to find my way around the internet, but also while we tried to get a handle on that situation. I hope you weren't triggered by anything that people said, but it's quite possible because they say really, really shitty things. So, all right. I think I just preached at you guys enough. I see the people chat that are in the chat, and you are just not people that I know to be hateful online. But don't think that you have to lie down and just take it if somebody does it to you. Yes, thank you to the mods. Ow! I'm moving my ankle for the first time since I sat down, and it hurts. It hurts. It hurts, Charlie. Yes, when stands are healthy, we make friendships, not enemies. I'm all about making friendships. I'm all about like mending bridges too with people. I'm not above that. Mods did fantastic. I'm amazing. I was You're gonna get a better version of me next week. I'm gonna have to I'm making that my mission. It was like the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. I haven't seen that movie. It makes me sad that you compared it to a war movie. Anyway, all right. So yeah, I would love if you guys could email me something that I think that I need to find some structure around, and if anybody wants to throw out some suggestions, feel free. But I think that we need to have kind of really two different kinds of emails. There is, attention, this week's topic, and just a short email. If you want to write in a longer email, then maybe attention, long email, well ahead of time, so that it's something that I can look into and see if it's something we can talk about. And then another like attention idea. So maybe I'll work out a system, but I need to know where I should inform you guys. Maybe community tab might be the best way of getting your attention. Alistair says, I kind of snapped. I saw what Gabby fans had said to you and wanted to tell Gabby how I felt about her. I see. And is honestly, Alistair, I don't know how old you are, and so I'm not trying to be like, talk down to you if you are an adult, but in a sense, I do see some similarities between you and Cassie, who spoke up earlier. And to that, I would just say I thank you for caring about me. But I ask my followers, just for my sake and yours, did Bob show up? Hey, Bob, love you. Hey, for my sake and for yours, I don't go out looking for these things. I don't read the negative comments. I don't look for there've been a handful of videos that people have made about me. I don't watch them. I think that is what is so sick about that fandom, is that Alexis, you crack me up. That fandom, they seek out this material that is critical of their favorite, and it makes them so angry, and it keeps them saying angry. And if somebody asks, do you think they're mentally ill? Sometimes I think some of these people just have anger issues, and they need to find a vessel to express those feelings of anger. But just, I don't need anybody to stand up for me. We don't need to go searching for that stuff. Don't let it bother you. I hate when people say don't let it get to you, but like, let's avoid that so we don't let it bother us, because you can't help it if it bothers you. It makes sense. I appreciate you caring for me, but don't fight for me. You don't need it. I don't need it. We're good. Leah stands nothing and no one. She's better than us. No. Well, we stand you, Leah. Leah's the best of us. I love you guys so much. I love you. Thank you so much to my moderators, to my temp moderators. I'm sorry that I'm going to remove that after this, but I thank you so much for your help today. It was kind of a shit show. I don't understand exactly what's going on in my life right now. But yeah, let's talk about topics for next week. Let's get the ball rolling. If we want to continue on this topic, but maybe siphon things and maybe get a little bit more organized, we can definitely do that too. Does that work? Or we can talk about something else. That's totally up to you guys. And I will be feeling better, so I'll probably be more entertaining, I hope. Don't make Leash say my name, guys. I'm looking for that super chat. All right. So if you hadn't heard, if you came in late, don't know that this is going to happen, but I'm trying to hit 50K on the 1-year anniversary of my hate mob. So if you're watching and you might want to come back to one of my videos, then maybe if you could hit the subscribe button. I don't want to ask for like illegitimate subscribers, because then that just like throws off your analytics. I don't want people subscribing that don't want to watch my videos. But if you think you might like me, I will tell you, this is me at my worst. I am better than this. Maybe subscribe so you can see that. Yes, I said siphon. And I have a lot of great words. So maybe subscribe for that. Or what does Jamie say? Sugar scrub to that. Sugar scrub to my impressive diction. And make sure that we are all ducks, no dicks. Lick the video, all of these things that we say. Like the video, please, if you wouldn't mind, or if you got something out of it, or if you feel bad for me or whatever. It helps out a lot. But things have been going great lately, you guys. I don't want you to worry about me. I've still this thing I'm getting over, but otherwise, shit's good. My man's here. We're painting this apartment. Oh my God, it's awesome. So I'm excited to share pictures with you guys of everything as it comes up. So I love you guys. To you, the 455 people who are still watching. Hey, and we have almost half that many likes, so that's pretty cool. You guys are nice, despite the storm of shit people that we had come in here. All right, I'm gonna go eat dinner, see what my man is up to, and get some rest for my voice. Hashtag water gang, and I love you guys, and bye.